Welcome back to Point of View at 6:30, where we present all sides of the story, including yours. Now, we all see our healthcare premiums go up year after year, while everyone from workers to business owners and political leaders acknowledge healthcare costs are a problem. They do keep going up. Tonight, Chris Berg, host of the Chris Berg Show on AM 1100 The Flag, looks into this issue, and you got someone who knows a lot about our health insurance locally.
Yeah, Stephanie, tonight in the Hot Box, we've got the CEO of Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Dakota, Paul von Ebers. You talk about premiums going up. I think one of the most shocking stats I can share with you tonight, since 1999, now this isn't just in North Dakota, this is across the country, but since 1999, healthcare insurance premiums gone up 131%. I know your income's probably doing the same thing. At least mine is. Yeah, right. I mean, it's staggering what's happening. When I saw you traveling around the state of North Dakota, Paul, you recently said the average North Dakotan right now is spending 25% of their income on healthcare insurance. That's shocking. And then just recently, and I never go to the doctor, and just recently, Blue Cross Blue Shield raised my premium another 16%. So I got a question for you in two parts. Number one, what's the number one driver of these costs? And number two, how do we start to mitigate these costs and lower this for people?
Sure. Thanks, Chris. I'm very happy to be here. The number one concern that our customers tell us that they have is the cost of health insurance. So we agree that this is a really important issue. I'm going to start with what people can do themselves. The major reason why health insurance premiums are going up is that we're just using more and more healthcare services. Each person is using more services. So if each person looks at their own lifestyle, that's the place to start. Many of the diseases we have relate to the way we live. Whether we get enough exercise, whether we eat right, if we do have a disease, do we do what the doctor asks us to do?
So let me stop for a second, because this is, I think, one of the challenges. A recent research study showed that 83% of the American population said that, hey, if I was incentivized to eat and exercise, I would do it. When I look at my insurance, I know you guys do like $25 for a gym membership, but to me, that's not a true incentive. And the other thing, from a hospital perspective, what's their incentive to make sure I'm healthy, because then I'm not going there to help them make money?
Yeah, it's a very good point. And health insurance companies are increasing incentives that we're paying to help people live healthier lives, whether it's joining a health club or just working out in your basement and getting an incentive for doing that. In addition, there are programs to help lower people's copays and deductibles if they're following their doctor's orders. So there are a number of things that we can do as health insurance companies.
But I mean, give me some real drivers, because again, 25% of my income, it's an average of $1,000 a month that's going to my health care. And you're saying, hey, if you go to a gym, we'll give you $25? I mean...
Right. Now, and let me just be clear about one thing. The $1,000 a month is a typical family premium. A lot of people are getting support for that through their employers, but what they need to realize is that offsets their wages. So they may not be paying $1,000 a month for their health insurance, but that's what the cost of it is, and it eventually comes out of their pocket one way or another. So that is a true statistic. What people can do is manage their own health first, and we have tools to help them do that. The second thing is to use the healthcare system wisely. For example, using generic drugs whenever possible will lower costs, and to only use the emergency room when it's really an emergency, and instead go to an urgent care center if you have a legitimate problem but it's not a real emergency.
So the other question I have for you is, why not begin to expand HSAs? Because I look at this and I go, you and I both know, once I hit my deductible, I go to the doctor, and you may have this stat, but I would venture to guess maybe 20% of the people actually even look at their doctor bills and go, wow, I mean, right now I've heard the average doctor visit is $400. So can we start to expand HSAs so I can actually go out and shop, create competition, rather than once I hit my deductible, most people don't care?
Everyone on your listening to the show may not know what an HSA is. It's, as you know, a health spending account. That money can be put into that account either by the employer or by an individual. And then you're really spending your own money, and so you have more of an incentive to be careful with it. So you would have a high deductible health insurance policy that covers expenses after that deductible. But before that, you're spending your own money, either money you put in or that your employer put in. And that does help people be more sensitive about health care costs.
How many people in North Dakota do you insure?
we insure about 300,000 people who live in the state of North Dakota, and then about another 150,000 people who live in the surrounding area. You know, that would include people who live in Moorhead.
Here's my point: is how do we expand the competition in healthcare, make it more like car insurance? Because I think some people could say that's almost like a monopoly, oligopoly. You got 300,000 people out of a state of 600,000. You can kind of cut a deal with the hospitals, and you're making a bunch of money. And you know, you always hear about the evil insurance companies. So how do we drive competition to start lowering these costs?
Well, we do have more competition today than we did before. We have a Sanford Health Plan, Medica, Humana, to mention just 3 other carriers that are in the state. And competition will make us better, there's no question about it. But our size also gives us an advantage to negotiate better deals with hospitals and doctors than we would if we were substantially smaller. So our size does benefit the people of North Dakota.
The State of the Union addresses tonight. Let's talk about Obamacare. Your thoughts on that? Are you a fan of it? If so, why or why not?
Well, we support the fundamental goal of the law, which is to get everybody some financial protection for health care costs. We've just been talking about how large those are, and everybody needs protection. We think there are major flaws with the law. It will drive up the cost of health insurance in many ways, and we also expect it to increase the federal budget deficit more than the projections suggest. So we would really prefer a North Dakota solution, and we believe it would be possible to get everybody financial protection for health care costs here in North Dakota with a North Dakota plan, and that's what we would prefer.
The number one most important thing for a family that's out there listening tonight, the number one most important thing they can do to start saving money in health care costs?
Well, the first thing is to get some exercise and eat right and follow your doctor's orders. Those are the basic things. We can do additional things. We are now providing programs to incent doctors and hospitals, give them incentives to provide higher quality of care and to increase the efficiency of care. So we have a role in it, and the individual has a role in it also. And we want to help our members do those right things to reduce their own costs.
Paul, thanks for being in the Hot Box. You know, here's why I love talking about healthcare. Is we all know the State of the Union addresses tonight. What am I going to do to go influence Barack Obama and his philosophy to manage America? The federal debt right now is $15 trillion. I can't just write out a check for that. So the thing I love about healthcare, this is something that you and I can sit down and make an immediate impact on. And look, President Ronald Reagan had a great quote back in the day: all great change in America begins at the dinner table. And I think that's more true today than ever, because you and I can take personal responsibility for what we're putting in our mouths, how much we exercise. And you know what? If you want to go out and drink yourself into oblivion or whatnot, just go pay cash. Just don't make me pay for it. One of the things that Paul mentioned to me on his tour, right now, 20% of the people are driving 80% of the cost in healthcare. We can tell ourselves, you know, we live in this republic, but it's already socialized medicine, in my opinion. Stephanie?